Friends, welcome to RAS Civil Services. This is our RAS Prelims series. We have completed first chapter of our preparation, that is prehistoric Rajasthan, in which we discussed about the Paleolithic era, Mesolithic era, Neolithic era, how different settlements were there in Rajasthan and what relics or what remnants we have received and what sort of question being asked in RPSC and other examination we have discussed in length and breadth. And about that lectures PDF is also available in the YouTube link. Now our second chapter is the Copper Age and Bronze Age civilization, which come after, basically after prehistory. In prehistory, you see, prehistory, human being was aware of stone tools. Down the line, the stone tool size was diminished, and therefore we come across different sort of civilization level, that is the Paleolithic, the Mesolithic, the Neolithic. Thereafter, human being came across to the first metal, that is the copper. So the copper, with the invention or with the discovery of copper, we come across a new sort of civilization which is known as Copper Age civilization. After mixing copper and tin, human being invented Bronze Age civilization. So in the chronology of human history, stone implements come first, and thereafter the metal, in which the Copper Age first and then the Bronze Age civilization. So what sort of civilization were there in India and Rajasthan, we will discuss one by one. Now as far as Copper Age culture in Rajasthan is concerned, basically during this period of human history, human being was using more and more stone tools, but by that time he had discovered copper. So in this era, many times, especially in UPSC, many questions being asked, what sort of tools human used in Copper Age and Bronze Age civilization? It was stones. But by that time, copper was discovered. That's why it's very important. This period is also called as Chalcolithic periods. Chalcolithic period means, lithic means stone. Stone was there important, but as well as the chalco means human being was aware of copper metal. So the journey of human metal civilization progressed from stones, Paleolithic stones, microliths to the copper. So this age is known as Copper Age, and it starts from 5000 BC. The period you have to notice is the 5000 BC, whereas in stone tools we discussed it started from 5 lakh years from Paleolithic. Now, what are the important sites and chronology? The important sites in Rajasthan are basically divided in many parts. Most of this civilization, or the settlement of this civilization, we will discuss later on, that we will find it is in the river valley areas. So especially it's in Rajasthan, especially in second millennium BC across Rajasthan, it means around 2000 BC, there were many settlements. In Rajasthan, the people or the inhabitants of this civilization and culture used copper as a new things, and the stones implements were the majority of things which were used by the then people. Now, what were the characteristics of that civilization? As far as the features and the characteristic feature of those civilization, we get to know about the human settlements and how their economy and their social structure, and it was basically settled on agriculture and basically animal rearing. The exception of that is the Ganeshwar civilization. Ganeshwar civilization was not primarily agriculture civilization. It was basically a sort of industrial civilization. Now, one by one we try to understand, simply we try to understand what sort of Chalcolithic or the Copper Age civilization were there. So in Rajasthan, the civilization, the cluster of civilization are divided into 3 distinct groups. First is the northern and northwestern Rajasthan, where basically there was we have heard about Indus Valley civilization, and many of sites of that civilization, which is basically a Copper Age, it's basically Bronze Age civilization. There are certain areas in certain pockets in Rajasthan, we have this remnants and relics of this civilization. The settlement of that period basically is found from the Ghaggar-Hakra river. Ghaggar river and Hakra river is known as in Pakistan. Ghaggar is known in Rajasthan. So most of the settlements and most of the colonies are basically in the valley areas or in the river belt area of this Ghaggar-Hakra river. The important site is the Kalibanga, which is known as the one of the major IVC Indus Valley Civilization site. Another cluster is the northeast, which is basically Ganeshwar Jodhpura Copper Complex. This is very important, and many RPC examination, this Ganeshwar Jodhpura complex has been asked. By that time, Ganeshwar Jodhpura Copper Complex is in chronology comes after Kalibanga. And third is the southeastern Rajasthan, which is the Ahar culture, which is in the bed river of Banas and its tributaries. Now, one by one, we will do this civilization. The first is the Kalibanga civilization. Kalibanga civilization is located located in Hanumangarh at the left bank of the river Ghaggar. The first, but the most important thing is this civilization belongs to Indus Valley civilization, which is Bronze Age civilization. Bronze Age civilization. It means after stone, then copper, and then tin was mixed, the bronze came. So, in the series of human civilization or development of human civilization, the bronze comes after copper. It's the third stage. So, this civilization is very important. By that time, human being was aware of the advanced techniques of agriculture. Agricultural surplus was there. Therefore, the Kalibanga civilization was basically, if the many a time in the question we ask, especially in UPSC, what was the nature of Kalibanga civilization? It was urban civilization, and it was basically Bronze Age civilization. So these are the two major characteristics. Now, what is the meaning of the word urban civilization? Urban civilization refers to that the majority of population, like 75% of the population of that civilization, relied upon on the non-agricultural practices. Therefore, the civilization was termed as urban civilization. Now, the period is around 5,000 to 6,000 years ago. Since we are in 2024, so it means it was around 4,000 to 3,000 BC. One thing. The river banks around which or in the surrounding of which the most of the settlements are found is the Saraswati and Drasdati river. Saraswati and Drasdati rivers both rivers are now extinct, and it is considered by many archaeologists that the present Ghaggar river is the basically in the relics of the earlier or the erstwhile Saraswati Drasdati river, which is, you can consider this present Ghaggar Hakra river is the new name of the Saraswati Drasdati river. Now, many of sites have been on numerous sites have been excavated. The most important is the Kalibanga. Now, one historian is known as Aurel Steen. He was the first to mention the prehistorical settlement in Ghaggar Hakra valley, which is very important, which is the basically extinct Saraswati Drasdati river. Now, its a location as at the left bank at the Ghaggar river, Hanumangarh district. You have to learn chronologically. It is around 4,000 BC, which we have already discussed. Its nomenclature, how the word Kalibanga is been derived. Kalibanga is the basically Punjabi word. Banga means Bengals, and Kali means the black. It's the land of black Bengals. That's why its name is the Kalibanga. Now, its nearby one site is known as Pili Banga. It means the yellow colors Bengals were there. Now, excavation history is very important. Many at multiple times RPS asked about the excavation of the Kalibanga, because Kalibanga is one of the important IVC site and which is fortunately located in Rajasthan. So, in terms of history of Rajasthan, in terms of history of India, Kalibanga is immensely important. So, there was one important Indologist whose name was L.P. Tessitori, he was the first person who opined about a ancient civilization around some riverbeds of the Ghaggar river when he was visiting Bikaner state, the then state of Bikaner. One mound he saw and he opined there must be some civilization which is buried beneath this mound. So L.P. Tessitori and there Amlanand Ghosh in 1952, then B.B. Lal, B.K. Thapar in 1961. So you have to learn 4 person these. Now, site overview. What sort of this site is? If we capture a photo from our drone, so we will find 3 distinct mounds are there in Kalibanga and 5 layers of civilization. Now, what is the meaning of that? You see, if you these consider these are the mounds. This is the ground level, and these are the mounds. Now, when these mounds were excavated, we've come across different sites of layers of civilization. This is the latest one. and this is the most ancient. So as we dig down, deep down, we will come across different layers of civilization. Now, first two layers predates the Harappan civilization. It means this civilization existed or flourished even before Indus Valley civilization. So largely the Kalibanga civilization or Kalibanga site is divided into two important parts: pre-Harappan civilization and mature Harappan civilization. Now we will do in detail. Now first is the pre-Harappan civilization. The thing you have to learn is basically in pre-Harappan civilization, many of historians are of the mind that it was basically Sonti Siswal culture. But you just have to learn this word Sonti Siswal. Ablar and Ghosh opined that this Kalibanga civilization is basically is a part of Sonti Siswal culture. Now, in pre-Harappan phase, which is also called proto-Harappan phase, B.B. Lal, the historian, suggested that the oldest plugged field has been discovered, which dated around 2800 BC. It means around 5000 years from today has been discovered from Kalibanga, which is very important fact. You have to learn about this. Second important is the Kalibanga pottery. Kalibanga pottery has 6 fabrics A, B, C, D. You need not learn all things. Just you have to learn is keep in your mind is the 6 fabrics. Now how it declined? It declined. There are many suggestions. There are many opinions. B.B. Lal suggests it declined. The then phase of civilization declined around to 2600 BC. It means it flourished from 2800 to 20. It means 200 years. This phase flourished and it declined or died because of the earthquake. Many historians are of the mind that it ended because of drying up of the Ghaggar river. There are chances, there are many signs there that shows that the Ghaggar earlier was a very huge river, and by and by it got extincted or it dried up, and the people living around the riverbed of that area, they either migrated or they died. And additional artifacts you need not learn about that. Now come at the mature Harappan phase of Kalibanga. Mature Harappan phase dated from 2500 to 200 BC. It means it flourished around 500 years. 500 years. Now what are the important things I found from this phase? Fire altars, which in Hindi is known as Agni Vediya. Fire altars have been discovered. It shows that the people of that time practiced fire worship. Then the town was divided into two parts. One is the lower part, another is the citadel part, means fort. This area was the fort area. In western part is the fort, and this is the lower town. So lower town has now the important thing is most of the Indus Valley civilization had this pattern. The western part was the citadel. It was basically fortified, and the lower town was non-fortified. But Kalibanga is an exception case where lower town was also fortified. You have to learn this thing. The layout of the settlement, like this settlement had the chessboard pattern. Chessboard pattern means the whole town, the lower part of the town was divided into this way. The main road was around 10 meter wide. Another was 10 meter wide. They transect each other at the 90 angles, and there were this sort of settlement. So if we see this sort of settlement, looks like a chessboard style. So these are the lanes, these are the streets. They transact each other at the 90 angles, and the most of the houses were located at the corner of every transaction of streets and lanes. So chessboard style of settlement was there. Most of the houses were built by or constructed through baked bricks. There was no kacha bricks. Other significant objects is the oldest metal statue has been found from this place, which is also the copper bowl, which is very important. There was a wooden drainage system, conch bangles, ivory comb, bronze mirror. These are the important artifacts which have been found from Kalibanga. Apart from Kalibanga, the Bronze Age civilization, the important Bronze Age sites in Rajasthan are Tarkhanwala Dera, Sonthi, Karoti, Anupgarh, Pugal, Boropal, Bageshwar, Binjo, Rangmahal, Pilibanga, Sherwar. You have to just have a glimpse of all this. You need not mug up all these facts, but you have to just have a basic idea of what sort of Bronze Age civilizations or Bronze Age sites are there in Rajasthan. Whatever question will be asked from this Kalibanga. Kalibanga is utmost important. Now, apart from Kalibanga, you have to learn about the Sonthi culture. Sonthi culture is also basically located in Hanumangarh district. One part of Sonthi culture is located in Hanumangarh district. It is basically remains of ancient pre-Harappan civilization. It is also dated back, predated to Harappan civilization like 4600 BC. Its discovery was done by Amlanand Ghosh in 53 and he referred as the Kalibanga one. There are disputes, but whatever he has said is considered also very authentic one. It's the characteristics are basically this civilization was located in between Ghaggar and Chotang rivers. So you just learn this name of these rivers. One question has been asked by RPSC about this civilization, that what are the important rivers which are associated with the Sonthi culture. So this the Ghaggar and the Chotang river. Now, what is the meaning of Sonthi or Siswal civilization is given in this, which is not very important. There are as many as 165 sites which are related with the Bronze Age civilization, about which is also one of the some of them are also related with the Sonthi culture. Now, after Bronze Age civilization, there are many Copper Age civilization. Important one is the Ganeshwar civilization. It is located in Sikar, Neemka Thana, near Kantli River, discovered by the R.C. Agarwal. He was very important archaeologist who is related with Rajasthan in 1972. Later on, the excavation was conducted by Vijay Kumar in 1978 again. The period is basically 2800 BC, which is parallel to Harappan civilization, but it was not basically verily Harappan civilization. Its features were different with the Harappan civilization. Harappan civilization had two features. One is the urban, which we have discussed, and another is trade-based civilization. Another is Bronze Age civilization. So these features are not found in Copper Age civilizations. The significance is the cradle of copper civilization. In one of India's oldest Copper Age civilization is very important. Now, what are the artifacts? What are the remains have been found from this area? The copper fish hooks, double spiral pins, stone ponds which are constructed by stones, and dwellings. The people used to live in not in the brick constructed houses, rather stone constructed dwellings. Now, it is considered that it is opined that this site might have supplied copper to the Indus Valley civilization. Although this fact is not established, but many historians are of the mind that the Ganeshwar used to be a copper supplier of Indus Valley civilization, because Indus Valley civilization was basically a trade-based civilization, and at that time Indus Valley civilization was involved or indulged in international trade also. Now, there are evidences of meat-eating society with 2000 copper tools have been found, and historians suggest that the people of that time or inhabitants of the Ganeshwar civilization used to have meat in their diet. Distinctive poetry is there, copper tools are there, pottery is especially basically the period of this Copper Age civilization is distinct from the Bronze Age civilization. The pottery of that period is basically black and red pottery, which we'll discuss in Ahar civilization. So Ganeshwar is important, then is Ahar civilization. Ahar is basically located at the Ayad river, which is tributary of Banas rivers, and nearby the Bedach river. The three rivers are very important. Now, basically, this Ahar civilization is remain parallel to the Indus Valley civilization, and basically its old name was Tamarvati Nagri. The name itself suggests that Tamar means copper. So this civilization was related with the copper only, and its old name was Aghatpur. In medieval time, it was called Aghatpur. Now, the important thing is the excavation of Ahar nearby Ayad river is present day Udaipur district has revealed 8 successive settlements dating back 4000 years until 18th century. It means people used to live in this area from 5000 years to 18th century. I mean, thousands and thousands of years people settled here. So we have total 8 successive settlements. If we go by in deep dug this land, we have different settlement layers, 8 successive layers. So it is basically 4000 years, and this is the 18th century. So you can see the time or the spread of time the people used to live in this area. Now, what is the spread? What is the geographical spread of that civilization? Basically, the Ahar civilization is Bedach Banas region, is located in Bedach Banas region. Bedach and basically a tributary of Banas River, also known as the Banas Culture. Approximately in this civilization area, 50 archaeological sites have been discovered, including Ahad, Balathal, Gilund, and Ojiana. Some historians are of the mind that inhabitants of Ahad migrated from elsewhere and thrived in Banas River Valley around 700-800 years ago. It means the people who are living today, the people who lived in 708 years back, and the people who lived 4,000 years back were different. The key districts which are related with this civilization is the Udaipur, Chittorgarh, Dungarpur, Banswara, Ajmer, Tong, and Bhilwara, and also some sites are also found in Madhya Pradesh, like nearby Mandsaur. Who discovered this culture? A.K. Vyas in 1953. Later on, H.D. Sankhalia and V.N. Mishra excavated in 1961-62. Now, the chronology, our civilization dates back 1800 BC to 1200 BC. Like I have said, 4000, this don't confuse with the 400 BC. It is a 400 year back. So, presently we are in 2024 and 1800 back. So, it is around 4000 years back. Don't confuse with this. So, it is 1800 BC to 1200 BC. G. N. Sharma suggested a timeline from 1900 to 1200 BC. So, it is around 2000 BC plus minus 200 years. So, this is the established fact. Now, the important thing, it is distinct from Harappan civilization. Harappan, pre-Harappan, post-Harappan. This is entirely different because it was not urban, it was rural civilization. Unlike Harappan civilization, it was rural civilization. Unlike Harappan civilization, this civilization was confined to domestic trade, whereas Harappan civilization was the people used to deal in international trade. It was entirely different civilization. That's why we are reading it differently. Significant excavation have revealed that evidence of copper use in prehistoric period around 2580 BC to 1500 BC has been found from this. There are total 3 phases of this civilization. The mound which is located in Ahad region is also called Dhulkot Mound. Many a times question has been asked about the Dhulkot. Dhulkot is exclusively related with Ahad civilization. This question has been asked multiple times by RPSC. Where was Dhulkot Mound was located? It was in Ahad civilization. And we have 3 phases of Ahad civilization. First phase is the extensive use of chert and tool making. It means it is related with the Stone Age. Then discovery of copper, it is related with the Metal Age. And dominance of pottery, it means it was the advanced level. So there are 3 levels of human civilization. Now, what are the important? It's urban planning. We come across many of sites in our civilization where we can see the urban planning was as good, not as good as Harappan civilization, but somewhere it was a better form of urban planning has been found from this civilization. So you have to learn this. Now the pottery. Now in urban civilization, the important thing is the chakra koop is a Hindi word. Ring wells have been found. Those locations or those sites which are not at the bank of rivers, there are historians found there are ring wells there. Now the pottery is important. Black and red pottery is very exclusive with the Ahad civilization, whereas in Harappan civilization there is a glossy pottery was there. Now economy, the people as we have discussed, the people lived in 3 phases, but the major part of the economy was with the smelting of copper. So the first site or the first period is related with the copper age. The second is with the iron age. Later on, human being come across a new metal which is known as iron, and iron basically introduce a paradigm shift in human civilization that we'll discuss later on. Now, was there any international trade or international trade was there in with the inhabitants of our civilization? There is no clear-cut evidence. However, some Greek coins have been found from this, which is dated 1st century BC, which it means after 1000 years they started doing this international trade also. Now, as far as the food is concerned, it's basically the people consume vegetarian and non-vegetarian diets, both including fish, goat, deer, and cattle. Religion, there is no clear-cut evidence of what sort of religion people had, but it is found that the mother goddesses and bull figures have been found, and it's found that it might have been used for religious purposes. Artifacts, you need not learn all about the artifacts, is not important. Now the house. House were made of the wet mud and stones, utilizing stones of the foundation. So you can see wet mud and stones were used either, not baked bricks were not there. Baked bricks means pakka bricks was not there, unlike Harappan civilization. Uh, Greek bronze coins we have discussed also. Agriculture, the people used to cultivate rice and millets. Supply of copper to Indus Valley civilization came from Ahar. It is established that this copper age civilization, especially Ganeshwar and Ahar, used to supply copper to Indus Valley civilization so that they can do international trade with other trade partners. The oldest evidence of iron in Indian subcontinent has been found at the Ahar. Although this fact is not established, but in Rajasthan GK books, it is said that the oldest evidence of iron in Indian subcontinents have been found at Ahar. Now, as far as the trade relation is concerned, commercial connection with Iran were established in later phases, and domestication of animals like dogs and rhinos, elephants, and frogs were domestified for their domestic purposes. So, this is basically after Ganesh and Ahar. The third is the Giloon. Giloon is located in Rajasthan. Is also Banas civilization, Banas culture, part of Banas culture, and it's related with copper as well as bronze civilization. It was accepted in 57-58 up to 2002-3. B.B. Lal, Gregory Posse, V.S. Sindhe. Radiocarbon dating says that the site is related with 1700 to 1300 BC. What is the important architectural feature is important is basically the people live like in Ahar civilization. Artifacts is basically plain black and borrowed red and polished painted pottery has been found from terracotta figurines of horned bulls, gaming pieces, and bronze weapons have been found from this important. Now, the important things you have to learn is about the recent excavation is saying that this site is also related with the Jhukar culture of Sindh. Amlanand Ghosh is of the mind that this might have been related with the Jhukar culture. This question has been asked many times in RPC examination. Another important site is Jodhpura. Basically, Jodhpura Ganeshwar complex is now a modern term used for this civilization. Now we have taken in different Jodhpura. Jodhpura is not Jodhpur, it is in Jaipur district, and it is located at the bank of Sabi river. It was excavated in 70 to 73. The important thing is the type of pottery has been found is a red ochre, not black and red. It is red ochre. It's OCP vessels have been found from here. By that time, human being came across the use of iron weapons there. The iron weapon is very important. Plenty of iron objects, iron nails, iron arrows, conch bangles have been found from here. Human settlement, as far as human settlement is concerned, the important part is that this site belonged from 2500 BC to 200 C. You can see around 2300 years people remain settled here in different layers. Another site is Valathal. Now, regarding other sites, you have to learn about their location, their excavator, and one or two important features. So it is located in Vallabhnagar, Tehsil Udaipur, which is near Udaipur metropolitan area. V.N. Mishra was the excavator. Cultural phases is important. It's a copper age and then iron age. So this site is related with the copper and both as well as in iron age. It was related with the Harappan civilization. The people used to interact with the people of Harappan civilization. Livelihood, like in other civilizations, is agriculture and animal husbandry. No important artifacts can be asked. Iron tools was important. You can learn about this thing. Then Kurada is new thing. This question is asked in I think in 2021 RPC exams. This is related with in Nagaur, Rajasthan. Bronze age site. Unique ribbed pot and copper tools have been found from here. And basically it is found that the people used to interact with the Western Asia, particularly Iran, from this Kurada region. Then Mala is in Bharatpur, Ghana National Park, and PGW pottery has been found. The PGW pottery is basically painted graveware, is related with the iron ore use. Iron implements. Human being remain aware of using iron, and at that time human being discovered a new sort of pottery known as PGW. So PGW is verily associated with the use of iron implements. Kiradot is in Jaipur, known for copper bangles. Ojiana is one of the latest site, is a copper age Ahar culture located in Khari river, is in Bhilwara. B.R. Meena, Alok Tripathi, 99, 2000 It was excavated. Important artifacts is the terracotta figurines of bulls and cows. It's basically a copper age site. Its chronology dates back from 2000, 2500 to 1500 BC. And other copper age sites are Jadol, Pind Padalia, Saina Pugal, Nandalalpura, Chithwadi, Elana, Buddha Pushkar, Kolmoli, Lachura. You can just mug up the name of districts and name of the location, and these are related with the copper age civilization. So this is all about ancient civilization which were related with the use of copper and bronze. In next episode we will discuss about iron civilization. Thank you.